They say love makes you blind. And for me, it wasn't just blindness. It was a complete blackout of logic, instinct, and common sense. My name is Daniel. I'm 34 now. And for 3 years, I was in love with someone who didn't even exist. It sounds insane, I know. But when you're in love, you don't see the lies, you see the version of the person you want to see. It all started at a coffee shop downtown. That's where I met her, Lily. She was quiet, kind, with that warm type of smile that makes you feel like the world just slowed down for a second. She ordered black coffee, sat near the window, reading some old mystery novel. I noticed her there a few times before I finally had the courage to talk to her. We clicked instantly. She was funny, thoughtful, mysterious in a way that made you want to know everything about her. She said she worked remotely, doing graphic design for some company in another city. She didn't have social media, said she deleted it for mental peace. I didn't think much of it. In fact, I admired it. In a world full of people addicted to attention, she was different. Or so I thought. The first few months were perfect. We spent weekends together, cooking, watching old movies, going for walks late at night. She never talked much about her past, said it was complicated, and I respected that. I didn't need her past. I was too focused on the present. But little things started to feel off. Once when I asked her about her family, she got visibly uncomfortable. She said her parents had both passed away and that she didn't have siblings. But later, during a random conversation, she mentioned a brother's wedding she attended years ago. When I asked her about it, she froze for a moment, smiled awkwardly, and said, "Oh, I meant my friend's wedding." It was small, but something inside me shifted that day. Then there were her phone calls. She would step outside to take them always. If I asked who it was, she'd say, "Just work stuff." But her tone, it wasn't the tone of someone talking to a coworker. It was softer, personal. One night, she stayed over and fell asleep with her phone in her hand. The screen lit up with a notification, a message preview. It said, "Miss you, can we talk tonight?" The sender's name was just the letter E. I froze. My heart started pounding so loud I could barely breathe. I didn't open it. I couldn't. I didn't want to be that person who snoops. But that message stayed in my mind for days. When I asked her about it later, she brushed it off. She said E was her cousin Emma, who lived abroad and was going through a divorce. Her voice trembled when she said it, but again, I chose to believe her. Because love makes you stupid like that. A few months later, she got a call during dinner. She looked at the screen, went pale, and said, "I have to take this." Then she walked outside and stayed on the phone for almost an hour. When she came back, her eyes were red. She told me her boss had an emergency project. That night she stayed distant, cold. When I reached out to hold her hand, she flinched. And for the first time, I saw something in her eyes, guilt. Over the next year, things got stranger. She'd disappear for days at a time, claiming she had to travel for client meetings. When she returned, she'd act like nothing happened, cooking dinner, laughing, pretending life was normal. I wanted to believe her, but the unease inside me kept growing. Then one evening, everything changed. I was cleaning up after dinner when I accidentally knocked over her purse. Her wallet fell out, and a few papers slipped from it. Among them was an old driver's license. Same face, same smile. But the name was Lily. It said Rebecca Mills. My stomach dropped. I picked it up again, thinking maybe it was a mistake. But the ID was real, address, date of birth, everything. When she came back into the room, I asked calmly, "Who's Rebecca?" Her face turned white. She froze for a full 10 seconds, didn't blink, didn't breathe. Then she smiled and said, "Oh, that's an old ID. I changed my name legally years ago." But the way she said it didn't feel right. Her tone, her posture, it was like watching someone recite a line from a bad movie. That night when she went to shower, I did something I'd never done before. I looked up the name Rebecca Mills. What I found made my blood run cold. There were news articles, local ones from another city. A missing woman. Her name, Rebecca Mills. The photo, her, exactly her. Same eyes, same smile, same everything. I read that she disappeared after being accused of stealing money from her previous job and allegedly being involved with her boss, who was married. That was 3 years ago. And that's when I realized the woman sleeping in my bed was someone else's ghost. I confronted her the next morning. She broke down instantly. She told me her real name was Rebecca, but that she changed it to escape her past. She said she'd been in a toxic relationship, that her boss framed her for something she didn't do, and that she ran away to start over. Part of me wanted to believe her. Another part of me, the rational part, knew there was more. She showed me messages, photos, anything to make her story believable. But something was missing: consistency. Her stories changed slightly every time. Dates didn't match. Names she mentioned before vanished from her new versions. A week later, while she was asleep, her phone buzzed again. The name on the screen, Ethan. I opened it this time. The message said, "I can't keep pretending you're dead. We need to talk." My hands went numb. I clicked the thread, dozens of messages, pleading with her to come back. Messages from someone who clearly knew her past. He wasn't a stalker, he was her husband. She wasn't running from a toxic boss. She was running from her real life. When I confronted her again, she didn't deny it this time. She just cried deep, broken sobs. She admitted everything. Her name was Rebecca Mills. She was married to Ethan. They'd had problems, yes, but instead of facing them, she left, changed her name, and started a new life with me. She said she fell in love with me for real, that she never meant to hurt anyone. But the damage was done. She had lived a lie, not just with her husband, but with me. And for 3 years, I was part of that lie without even knowing it. I told her to leave. She packed quietly, didn't argue, didn't explain further. When she walked out the door, she turned to me one last time and said, "I just wanted to be someone better for you." That was the last time I saw her. A few months later, I got an email from an unknown address. No subject, no name. Just a single line. "Thank you for letting me be real, even for a while." And then silence. To this day, I don't know where she is. I tried to find closure, but how do you move on from someone who never truly existed? I wasn't grieving a breakup. I was grieving a fictional person. 3 years of memories, moments, laughter built on lies. But somewhere deep down, I still wonder, was Lily the lie, or was she the truest version of Rebecca? All I know is this. Sometimes the people who seem the most real are the ones hiding behind the deepest masks. And the scariest part, you never realize it until it's too late.